This last video of the View3d series, we will strictly focus on the viewport itself. We will first start by looking up at the properties here and what are available to us. Basically, those properties can be toggled on and off, just like with any other editor that have this kind of property located on the left or the right. Key will simply toggle it on and off. We can enter a specific render layer to edit by selecting it from the list, but we also have option to have shortcut on that can be very fast when we are working. We can push Shift and 1 for the first render layer, Shift and 2 for the second layer, render layer, and so on all the way until 9. If you need, if you have more than 9, check online on the editor manual to have the exact combination of shortcuts to access layer 10, 20, 30, and so on. So we are going to be able to jump directly editing a specific render layer by pushing Shift and its index. To toggle back and forth between the application view and the edit mode, we're going to push space bar. That is a quick on and off to have a preview of our application at that specific location based on our camera. We also have the option to have auto perspective on or off. If auto perspective is on, my viewport will act smart and realize when I'm in a top, left, or front view. To access those views, I can manually also push the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on to simply rotate my view at a specific angle from the top, the front, back, and so on. Same as described here in the menu. I can also change the shading mode of my viewport by pushing Tab. That is going to bring me into wireframe. Tab again, shaded, and wireframe, and simply shaded. Based on what you are working on, sometimes it is better to be in shaded mode, sometimes it's better to be in wireframe mode. It's up to you. So we have seen how to switch between the perspective. If auto perspective is off, it will be my job to actually switch between ortho or not. In example, if I push the tile button, I will manually switch my camera, my lens type to be orthographic, and I can also do that from the menu. If I need to tweak the viewport, camera zoom, clip start, clip end, near plane, far plane, I can do it from this panel here. I can also have access to quad view, which is quite useful when you are building scene, when you're building your world. To enter quad view, I can simply click here or push the Q button. My viewport is now split in 4 views, where each and every one of them can have an independent render layer displayed. And as you can see, since synchronized orthographic view is on, I can move around and all the ortho view will be synchronized based on the one that I am currently selecting. If I switch manually to ortho now, and I move around, I pan, you see that all the views are actually selected. I'm going to go back manually into perspective. These, each and every of these viewport in the quad can be expanded if my selection, my focus is on this one and I push Q again. This is the one that will be full screen. If I click on this one, push Q, and this one will be full screen, and so on. I can select which one I want to have full screen. I can also give some sort of odd splitting here by holding the Shift key when I'm selecting a handle here, and I'm going to be able to, as you can see, break the center one, so I can really have focus on, I can really create a unique focus based on what I'm working on, basically masking one of them if I have to, and only focus like this on this area here on my top and front. To bring the viewport back to its normal, I simply realign my two handle and I drag again and they are locked. If I disable synchronize view, of course, the view will not be synchronized and I can move each and every one of them independently. Another thing to pay also attention is the lock orthographic view. If this is locked, it prevents any orthographic view to be switched back to perspective, as you can see. So if I enter orthographic, I cannot go back. Even if I push my alt to try to rotate, I cannot. If I unlock, I'm going to be able to then jump back and rotate my view. This is just to prevent accidental movement, especially when you're working on something specific. You align all these views and suddenly you turn the camera and you have to realign everything. Another option that I want you to pay attention is basically the information that are available here. As I'm going to focus on this viewport here, you can see that I have a total of objects that are currently displayed on screen, and that gives me a real time number of the actual number of objects that are on screen, as well as the number of triangle points. Points are generally emitted when you are creating a particle system, either regular point or GPU points, right? Number of light are actually the physical light object that are available in the viewport, and we have seen the speed and the sensitivity in another video. At any time also, if you're lost in the view, you can always push H. That is going to bring you back home, similar as if you click reset pivot transform.